Hold on, I'm almost ready. Got to finish gluing my mustache on here. Hold on. Okay. I think it's all anchored into place now. Looks natural, right? It is natural. I'm just kidding. I wasn't just gluing my mustache. I was just joking. Okay, hopefully you guys are doing great. Happy Friday. This is the Paranormal Portal, and I am your host, Brent Thomas, with a real mustache. Real mustache. It was just a joke. It was funny in my head, which is always kind of a scary place anyway, but yeah, things go weird in here sometimes. Hey, Justin Good Earth. Hey, Big D. Big D was right in the gate over on Rumble. Justin Good Earth piled in now. Hola to you, brother. And hello to Wizard Moon, Jordan Cogburn, Annie Manul, Diane Bowes, and Vincent Sanchez. Rachel gets it right. John Stevenson, Grateful Owl. And it keeps jumping here. What happened? There it is. Jordan Cogburn, Raspberries is here. Hello to you. And let's see. I said hello. Who else is new? Annie Manul is here. How you doing, Annie? Good to see you. And John Temprin. Did I say John? Yeah, I got the Johns are all represented tonight. We got that going for us. Vincent Sanchez is still here. Is there any other names? Sangre Esraro. I'm trying to do it right. I try to roll my R's. Sangre Esraro. How'd I do? I don't know. Is that a Hispanic name? I'm kind of curious. It's a cool name. I like it. It's very new to me, but welcome to the show, and hopefully enjoy yourself. You might be in for a surprise. I don't know. If you've never seen the show before, it might be a good surprise. It might be a bad surprise, but probably some kind of surprise is waiting for you, Sangre. So hopefully you like what you see. Phil Jones, Phantom Frequency, popped in. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. Phil Funk is here as well, as is. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was on Coast to Coast. Is that what you're talking about? He? When you say he, are you saying me? Because that's true. Good evening, everyone. Great to see you guys. I don't see any new names after that. I think that might be everybody. Phil Jones, I said hello. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Grateful Owl is the first one through the gate that I saw tonight, but regardless, welcome everybody, and hopefully you're ready for a 2-hour fun fest as we dive into the world of the paranormal. Deborah Neighbors came in. I see that now. I didn't see you before, but I see you now. Ghost 8541 popped in the door. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in and checking out the show. I'd just like to say hello to everybody, because I figure if you guys are going to make the effort to be here, I'm going to make the effort to acknowledge that you're here. It just means the world to me. So I hope you don't mind if I just say hello to everybody, because many of us have been together for years. So this is like a family in a lot of ways. Years and years and years. Some of them actually go back to almost 2017 when I started on YouTube. It's been a lot of road, a lot of miles on these tires, folks. But in any case, I'm just looking at the new chats. All right, it's good to see everybody. He's got the ghosts. Ghost 8541 used the ghost emojis. Outstanding. Well done. Yeah, we got a lot going on here in the portal. As always, we're going to dive into the news shortly. Sheldon will be along as soon as he can be. Obviously, he's finishing up his work week. I think he's finished. He just has to get back home and getting in front of his computer, probably grabbing a bite to eat, and he'll be right along. Usually comes in during the news, so we got that going for us. But hi, Norman Neighbors. Hi, Brent and everybody. Good to see you, Norman. Thanks for coming in. Supernatural Station. I think that's Jaron's here. Good to see you, Jaron. Thanks for coming in, brother. You guys should check out Supernatural Station podcast as well. It's available on all the podcast platforms. So help to support what they're doing. They've been long-term friends of the portal. We get together with them every time we go down to Phenomicon in Vernal, Utah. I just saw Sasquatch Chronicles pop up because who said it? Where is it? Jordan Cogburn said, I've been here since you were on Sasquatch Chronicles. God bless you, Jordan. When was that? 2018? Wes doesn't have me on very often. I wonder why. He pops into the chat here every once in a while, though, so you might see Wes pop in and say hello. I haven't talked to him for a while, so I did message him, but he's just far too busy. He's a busy guy, of course. I mean, he's got a lot of things on his plate, but Brandy Copeland came in. Good to see you, Brandy. And Mickey G is here. Awesome. Great to see you guys. But it's great to see all of you. Thank you so much for coming in. As always, I don't know. I don't have anything really interesting to talk about before we dive into the news. It's just been cold here. I'm really ready for spring. We had a really gentle winter up until like almost February, and then all of a sudden it decided to be like, it went full winter, like pow. But I think the whole nation in the U.S. kind of experienced that. And, I hope it's warming up for some of you guys out there, but it definitely hasn't here. I'm wishing it were. We are getting old fast. You got that right, Ghost 8541. I'd just call you Ghost from now on instead of saying all the digits. You got it, Ghost. Hello to you, Diane Bose. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I said hello to you before, but maybe you didn't hear it. Shark Cuddles from my spoopy family. I think you meant spooky, but what's Shark Cuddles, by the way? I'm not sure what Shark Cuddles are, but that doesn't sound so awesome. I didn't know sharks were cuddlers. Let's see. Anybody else? Okay. Looks like Cat Doherty showed up. I've been snowed in where I was petting. You were snowed in where you were petting. What does that mean? I don't even know for sure. I have lots of snow in here in the Forks, Washington. Well, yeah, you're over in Forks. I'm actually over in the upper tip of Idaho, so I'm not that far from you. Brent, that's perfect. Yep, you can just be Ghost from now on, Ghost. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are being haunted. Now, if you're new to the show, this box right here is the Ghost Radar. That's kind of like the weather here on the Paranormal Portal. We turn it on just to see if anything's stopping by and triggering it. I think I'll make it a little bit bigger, though. It's harder to see when it's so tiny. There we go. I blew it up a little bit for you guys. That's the Ghost Radar. It does... all right, I'm going to break it down again. I don't do this very much anymore because I did it all the time for a long time using the Ghost Radar on the show, and I would explain it. But essentially, anything that uses a magnetometer, which is like your cell phone, wireless devices and stuff, can detect electromagnetic anomalies or fields. And it will give us on the circular part of this, which is right here. I'm circling it with my mouse pointer now on your screen. That will give it to us in a plane around me. So I'm the central point because it's actually in my tower, which is right by my leg down here. And so anything outside of that central point in there is around me. It should detect, apparently it can detect up to like 25 yards away. So if it's over on, let me just do it over here. If it's on this side of the screen and it's quite a distance out, it's probably outside because that's the outside wall right next to me here. So I don't think if it's there, we have much to worry about. But if it's in here, I might be getting a spectral lap dance. And I'm not, not saying that's a good thing. So, but there you have it. Schmoopy. Isn't that what Jersey's girlfriend called him on that one episode? Is there someone here named Schmoopy? Or did somebody say Schmoopy? Where does Schmoopy come from? I just saw it come up in the chat. Now I'm curious. I don't see it. I don't see it, but I'm not sure. I don't think I said Schmoopy, right? Do you really want to know if there's a spook behind you? Yeah, I guess it's, honestly, to be full disclosure, this location where the studio is, there's a lot of weird stuff that happens here anyway, so it doesn't surprise me. And I'm not claiming that whatever shows up on the Ghost Radar, it's a ghost. I don't know what it is, but it could be an electromagnetic variable that spiked the meter. And if that's the case, it's largely believed that ghosts do affect electromagnetic fields. Some people think that ghosts are made of electromagnetic fields, and that is representative of ghosts. But I don't agree with that at all, because if ghosts were made of electromagnetic fields and you wanted to get rid of a ghost, just hang magnets everywhere and it would screw up a ghost. But whatever energy a ghost is affects the electromagnetic fields. And I think that that's a much more accurate description of it. So there you have it. I don't know what that means for sure. But schmoopy is what Jerry Seinfeld's girlfriend called him on that episode. I drove George nuts. Okay. All right. Not me. I'm in bed. Well, I'm glad you're all tucked in. Hopefully this is good bedtime entertainment for you. Hi, Ristel. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being here. So I guess that's about it off the front end. A lot of chatting going on. I haven't seen Barbara yet. Big D over in Rumble's asking where Barbara is. I haven't seen her yet today, so I don't know. I hope she shows up, but we're keeping our eyes open. Everybody's welcome. I just turn on the lights and all you wonderful people come in, and I'm blessed by that. So I guess we're going to get to the news and get this ball rolling tonight. We have 2 hours, so let's see what we can accomplish in 2 hours time. Now, again, the shows are obviously not rehearsed. If you stick around, you're going to know that in a quick hurry. But I do have kind of an agenda that I go into every show with, but it's always open to variations and changes in plans. So if for instance, you guys start having a conversation with me in the chat, we'll dive into that. That's always preferable, but otherwise, I'll just continue to bring you stuff and read you stuff and talk to you about stuff, and hopefully you find it entertaining. At any rate, Jordan says, I hate it when I spell something wrong because that's right when Brent reads one of my texts. It's have a good time at the Bad Timing Awards. Yeah, just proofread your work. That's all I'm going to say. That's okay. I don't grade them and hand them back anyway, so... it's okay if you don't spell real great. As long as I can read what you're saying, I'm good. I'm not a purist, a grammar purist, as it were. And if you listen to me talk, you're going to know why. I struggle with English, and it's my mother tongue. All right, let's dig into this and see what kind of fun we can get into. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start our shows as we always start them, with some news. I would have come on and told a few ghost stories from my past. Well, Mickey, you're always welcome to join me on the podcast. Just go over to paranormalportal.net. And this goes for any of you out there. If you have a lot of stories and you'd like to share what you've experienced, what you've seen, what you've gone through regarding the paranormal, I would love to hear from you. Just go over to paranormalportal.net. It's just paranormalportal.net. Put that in your address bar of your browser and it'll bring you to the website, and on there on the upper portion of the page is a button that says interview me. If you click that, it'll open my calendar application and you can pick from dates and times that work for you to meet with me. I usually use Zoom to connect with people, and we can record a podcast episode, so that's always possible. It doesn't have to be the live show. It can be on that, and I will release the video of that on YouTube as well. So Phil, yes, Brent has some interesting experiences. Brent always reads my chats. I appreciate it. He has a great sense of humor. Oh, keep going. I love it. No, it's good. I like acknowledging you guys' chats because you're in here talking and I am reading it. I'm getting better. I've gotten better. When I first started, I hardly would look up from an article. I would just read articles. And I realized I was missing a big part of this show, and that's all of you. You guys are a huge part of what I'm doing, and I love acknowledging what you have to say as much as I can. Now, I can't always, like in mid-article, go, oh, so-and-so said this. But in between articles, I will look at the chat and see if something sticks out, and I try to read them out loud. Car Juice 2 came into the Rumble chat. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Hi, Brent and all. Hope everyone is well. We are well. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in. And as you know or may not know, we are streaming on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, X. We are streaming on Facebook and also Twitch. Now, this chat that's on the screen, we will see if people message us from Facebook, from YouTube, and from Twitch. Unfortunately, I don't know if Twitter... I think Twitter comes up on here too. Rumble, for some reason, doesn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Twitter X comes up on here. Brent is cool. Saw him on BMR show. Thank you, Diane. Brent, later, can you tell your UFO and Bigfoot encounters to new viewers later? Yeah, I just feel like I've said them so many times. I mean, I'm perfectly happy to do so, but I don't want to be overly redundant on this show. But on so many interviews that I've done, like when I was on Sasquatch Chronicles, I talked about both of those, and when I was on many other shows, I've talked about those. However, yeah, if you guys want to hear that, let me know. Yeah, Twitch, believe it or not, I'm giving Twitch a try. It's free, so why not? We'll just put our lights on over there and see if somebody comes in. Hello, other platform people. YouTube chat loves you. Yeah, absolutely. And so feel free, anybody from wherever you're watching, to message. We'll see it here on the screen, and you can look at the screen for people's responses. So thank you, Phil Funk. He remembered. God bless you. Exploding Eyeballs UK. Hi to all the viewers too and mods. Hello, Exploding Eyeballs UK. I love that name. That's awesome. That's very cool. Anyone seen those Jinn videos from the caves in the Iran area? I think it was filmed. No, I haven't. Send me a link, Jaron. I'd love to see that. I don't think I have. I mean, I've seen hundreds or thousands of videos. I'm always looking up different videos, but I don't think I've come across that one. But maybe I have, and it's been rebranded or something. But anyway, all right, let's get to the news, ladies and gentlemen. Ghost8541 says, I'm a Twitcher. Well, I'm over there streaming live right now. And unfortunately, we don't hardly get noticed over on Twitch. So if you're a Twitcher, spread the word over there. Could use your help. I could use your help. You did get a cheer, of course, Phil. I'm always happy when you guys want to be members of the show. So, all right, let's get to the news and find out what the hell's going on in the world. I hope you're ready, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the news. The news beat is coming, Nate. It's now here. Hey, there's Ghost8541 chatting to us from Twitch. Good to see ya. Yeah, Ghost found it. They messaged me already, Rachel, but thank you. That's perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Oh, we got Ghost did a couple of Baby Yoda emojis, it looks like. Very cool. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk, ladies and gentlemen, as we dive into the current news that I managed to grab for the show tonight. Justin Gooder is talking to us from over on X. God bless you, sir. I'm seeing that in the chat too, so there's just fun all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. We're spreading like a rash. That's usually not a good thing, but hopefully it is in our case. Throughout the course of the shows, as you know, if you've been around, I say this every show, but I really mean it. This is we utilize a lot of different articles, and these sites are doing an exceptional job, and they are so well done and so well maintained. And I just want to encourage you guys, please support these sites. Please visit them. Please give them your love, because they are doing an exceptional job, and your traffic equals revenue for them. It helps to keep the lights on, because when you run a successful site, it's exceptionally expensive. And so your traffic helps to pay the bills. So please visit them. Please go over there and check out other articles that have to do with this amazing paranormal world we're in. And I know you're going to love what you find over on all of them. And it's also going to help them keep things going. So support them all. I can't find what Brent said to look for. I'll check it later. The paranormalportal.net, Mickey, and it's the interview me button. If you click that, it launches my calendar app, and you can look at dates and times to find something that might work for you. If you can't find anything, email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and I can figure out a custom time we can get together. So it's just I set aside 3 days a week for doing interviews, and so it works out pretty well 99% of the time. Sometimes we have to make special arrangements. We want the lights on because we get weird with it when the lights go out. Well, this is a family show, Raspberries. I'm just saying. All right, here we go. Let's get into the news, ladies and gentlemen. I've got some news articles pulled up for your viewing pleasure, and hopefully entertainment. Some of them might be paranormal related, not always are they, but hopefully they're interesting. And I'm going to pull one up now. I don't even know if that sounds right, but that's what came to my mind. I'm opening one of the articles now for us to go through, and this is coming from an amazing site, and this has been an incredible site that we use all the time on the news because it's just so exceptionally well done. And this site is called unexplained-mysteries.com, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a UFO phenomena story. So it goes right in our wheelhouse. I'm going to leave the picture of me that's below. That's where Sheldon will show up when he's actually here. So I'll just leave it on. Usually I turn it off when nobody's here, but he's coming. Who knows when he'll show up. But this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Again, I do say the dash on purpose because that's the way they spell it. And that's also the URL up here on the top. So if you don't put in the dash, you're going to get a different site. So make sure to type in unexplained-mysteries.com. And it's a UFO phenomena. UFO enthusiasm has surged in Japan amid renewed interest. I didn't know they weren't interested. I guess I didn't know they were or weren't in Japan. I don't really know how other countries and cultures view this stuff. I imagine everybody's got some kind of interest in it, but I think with all of the unexplained sightings going on in recent history, I think everybody's interested in what the hell's going on. So let's see what this says, though. It says communities across Japan have recently been seeing a resurgent interest in the UFO phenomena. The recent interest in UFOs in the United States has sparked something of a surge in interest elsewhere in the world, with Japan in particular enjoying renewed enthusiasm for anything and everything to do with unidentified flying objects. For instance, in Hakui, Ishikawa Prefecture, also known as the Town of UFOs, a recent UFO event at a local space museum was attended by some 2,000 people, a considerable spike in attendance for the attraction, which had suffered a reduction in visitor numbers following a recent earthquake. Yeah, but I don't think that has anything to do with interest in UFOs. It probably has more interest to do with, is there more earthquakes coming? Let's stay home. Well, anyway, let's keep going. Meanwhile, a UFO research institute set up in the city of Fukushima has been at the center of an annual festival that has seen visitor numbers exceed 5,000 in recent years. All across Japan, UFO-themed events have been used as part of a regional revitalization strategies, and there's even a nonpartisan parliamentary group focused on UAP research. There have also been calls to set up a dedicated agency for such investigations. And this trend may reflect a sense of social anxiety, said planetary scientist Junya Terrazono of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA. Oh, that's kind of cool. They used an X instead of the E. I guess Jaya would have been weird. With military conflicts and geopolitical tensions, such as Russia's invasion of Ukraine and clashes occurring throughout the Middle East, the public is likely feeling uneasy about what might lurk above. There's this growing sense of tension and curiosity. Perhaps we're starting to wonder if something might come flying our way. Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't know what kind of sightings they have over there. As far as, do they have a lot of UFO sightings in Japan? I don't know. Do they have a repository for reports in Japan? I don't know. Oh, Hardwick Big D. Remembered. You remembered. God bless you. 29 months. Hi, Eric Red. Good to see you. Wasn't Eric the Red a Viking? I think so. That sounds familiar. Eric Red is here. Good to see you. Phil Jones, Phantom Frequency. Yeah, I said hello to you too. Red Edge Savage came in. So I don't know if there is a repository for Japanese UFO reports. I would hope there would be. I don't know that every country has them. We've got MUFON and Newforce are the two big ones here, and UFORC. So if you go on, I think it's nuforc.com or .org, and that'll also give you a bunch of reports. I know Cade Moya out of Australia was doing kind of a reports database for Australia. I don't know. I guess I haven't checked on it in a long time, and I'll have to ask him for the URL. I haven't talked to Cade in a long time. Cade Moya, of course, of the Believe podcast, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't checked that out ever, Cade does a magnificent job, and I love the guy. He's such a wonderful person. So if you're interested in checking out an Australian paranormal show, check out Believe. Believe is really incredible. Good to see everybody. I'm just looking up and seeing the names. Dog Digger came in over in Rumble. But there you go. The Japanese are interested. So if there isn't one, hopefully someone will make one. And that way we can get a glimpse at, reported sightings over in Japan. And again, just because they're reported doesn't mean they're actual events, but maybe some of them are, as with anything. There's of course plenty of things happening in the sky that can be easily confused for what we consider UFOs, but I guess by definition they are, because they're unidentified flying objects. I don't like the whole UAP thing. I think that's weird. And I also don't like the overuse of the word drone anymore, because now everything in the sky with weird lights on it is a drone, even when it's not, when it's not a drone. So, by definition, hydration game intensifies. Absolutely. I mean, you got to realize doing a show here is a lot of work. Got a man works up a steam over here. So, Mount Fuji Base, Eric Red says, yeah, there. Oh, you know what? That sounds familiar. Brent, I found the sites. What is this? Arrow.mil. Including Japan. Okay, that's interesting. I want to kind of grab that if I can. Copy current address. God, I don't know if that'll work right. Let me try this. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can open this. If I can. Oh, man. The chat scrolled right at the wrong moment there. I'm going to see if I can open it, and we can have a look. Copy. Let's open it here and see. This is what Rachel just put up, and we can take a look. This is AARO. I think this is ours, though, isn't it? .mil, which is a military. Let's see what it says. I really don't know what kind of activity they have over there as far as strange sightings. Let's see. UAP imagery, records. How the hell do I use this? This is not very intuitive. Must be a government website. If you ever look at it and it goes, what do I do here? I don't care about your fiscal through 24 report. What is the UAP? Blah, blah, blah. Evidence. Where do I see it? Speaking of right behind me, that's where the Ghost Radar said that was. It was literally right there. And that's what it does too. If it's supposed to be a real potent presence, it does the hissy thing. Hey man, I'm lurking in the background. Good to see you, Chris. Thank you for coming in. Chris Bearwind over on Facebook. Go ahead and lurk away, brother. I appreciate you being here. Who else came in? Who else? I see Red Edge Savage. Tim Brown. Did Godzilla die? He was getting old. I don't know. I think he's timeless. I think he just gotta eat some nuclear stuff, and it's like his version of one a day or something. I don't know. Yeah, Mount Fuji Base. Okay, so I'm just saying hello to the new people that popped up. Yeah, so that hissing noise is actually the thing. I don't know how the hell to use this, Rachel. How do I see anything? Stay connected. I don't get it. Well, I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Home. This is about. Oh, shoot. I guess I should look through resources. Maybe resources is the best part. Law, memos, and FOIA. Where's a map, for Christ's sake? Come on. Just put an icon, report map. UAP records? I don't know. Okay, I'm lost, Rachel, but I'm sure there's people that are way smarter than me in this chat that can probably sort it out. Hey, SoCal, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. Japan has ancient stories of giant Shinto emperors, may correlate to giant artifacts here like giant swords. Yeah, that's true. I didn't know about the giant Shinto emperors. I've heard of course, Shinto priests that are allegedly still still, there's still Shinto priests over in Japan, and they are kind of their version of ghost chasers and purgers, if you will. Good to see you, Sasquatch. Quit giving me hell about Sasquatch, okay? There's a Sasquatch. It's just my regional accent, okay? Quit boasting my chops, huh? All right. Yeah, I don't know how to use this, Rachel, but if anybody's looking, aaro.mil, and then there's resources and stuff. I don't know how the hell to use it, though. I'm surprised that nothing's come up other than a bunch of... God, you can tell it's government, though. It's just so dry. I want to drink something right now. There's so much they could have done with this to make it interesting. The official website of the United States government. Here's how you know. Okay, well, thank you, Rachel. I appreciate you find that. Aussie Tigers lurking. Elaine Clifford's here. Good to see you. And still no Sheldon. Wonder what's up with that guy. So no, don't apologize, Rachel. It's wonderful. I just suck at you never know. I used to like build networks and configure routers and stuff back in the day, but when it just comes to web stuff, I don't know. I'm not nearly as technically good as I should be. Overlander BC came in and said, I finally caught a live show. Hey, question for you. Some say aliens have all bugged out and left Earth 2 years ago. Any thoughts on that either way? I don't know why they would suddenly leave. I don't know about that. I've not heard that before, but I don't know why they would leave. I don't think, honestly, that they really have a lot to worry about from us. If they are as technologically advanced as they are, I mean, it's kind of akin to us, sitting on a battleship looking at chimpanzees on a shore. Like the chimpanzees are us and they're on the, this battleship. It's not like we can probably hurt them unless, I know they crash every once in a while and stuff, which I don't really get. But anyway, there's a whole bunch in there. But no, I don't know what to think about that, Overlander. If they are gone, I don't know what the narrative is for that or why they would just be gone. I think they've probably always been here, to be honest. I just think that they don't always do a Phoenix Lights kind of incident or things like that. Like those kind of overt displays are really, really uncommon. And maybe it's types, maybe some types left. I don't know. You hear the argument that we're being visited by several different variations of extraterrestrials. So it's, maybe some of them just went home, wherever home is. And, but I think there's some that are just always here and have probably been alongside of us ever since the Pumapunka days or earlier. Who knows? The pyramids, any of that stuff. So I don't know. That's interesting though. I would love to know where you heard that information from. That's fascinating. I feel a disturbance in the force. I don't know what that could be. Oh, it's Sheldon. You're muted, Sheldon. Dope.
Yeah, dope.
There you go. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, me sending a big ripple in the forest, huh? Another fat joke for another stream, huh?
Jesus. It was more of a spiritual awareness joke, not a fat joke. Jesus. You make me sound like Dad of the Year, dude. You're just terrible.
That's fun. Oh, man.
Tim Brown, they only crashed after nuclear tests. That's an interesting take, Tim, as far as UFOs are concerned, because I was talking to, who was it? Jack Carey. I've interviewed him a few times, and I like Jack. Jack's a great guy. And he postulated that, because I asked the same thing. It's like, if they're so advanced, why do they crash? I mean, it's just like, don't you ever out-advance that, or like, it's like hitting a patch of ice. Like, oops, I guess the tires aren't going to work now. But these are super advanced, beings. How come they still drive into mountains and stuff? But he said that same thing. And it's interesting that you say that perhaps part of their navigation is based on the geomagnetic ley line kind of thing. But after nuclear testing, maybe it left holes in that matrix of that their sensors would have used, and so it's just like boom, and then they hit the dirt. I don't know, but I think it's as good of a theory as any. That's interesting. Alien teenagers.
Let me ask you, actually. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just reading. Phil Funk said alien teenagers taking out the craft for a joyride, and that's when they crash it. Could be. What were you gonna say, Sheldon?
So I actually had a quite I had the pulled the stream up when you were talking about the different kinds of aliens and if they're that were being visited by different species or whatever.
Mm,
But there's reported the Greys, of course,
yeah.
visiting, abducting, whatever. But you also have the Nordic looking ones too.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's
do you
tall
think it's an
grays,
illusion? Do you
tall
think it's
grays,
like an illusion thing and the tall grays, yes, too.
short grays. There's reptilians. There's Nordics.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of different ones. There's like Indrid Cold. There's Valiant Thor, who was supposed to be Venusian from Venus. There's apparently tons of different races of these things, allegedly, and I can't possibly know that. I'm just telling you what I've heard. And no, I don't. I do think that it's. I mean, if space is is as big as it looks like, why couldn't there be all these different races, and why couldn't they be in contact with each other, and why couldn't they coordinate and come here, or not even like each other and come here? You just never know. I've heard that there's warring factions that are fighting over Earth of these extraterrestrial races. I've heard there's a intergalactic council of elders, and there's some rebel ones out there. I don't know. It's almost like Star Wars, honestly. And I don't know what to make of all that stuff. And usually a lot of that stuff comes from people that are maybe channeling, extraterrestrials. And I'm not casting aspersions at that, but it's hard to quantify. It's hard to validate those kind of claims. And so could it be true? Yeah, for sure. But does that make it true? No.
What? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was pretty much done. What?
What kind of extraterrestrial stories are you the most doubtful of the validity? Like what kind of stories?
The ones that I have the
really
hardest
looking at?
the ones that I have the hardest time personally, and this is just me, and this isn't me saying no, it couldn't be true. I think it's a bunch of crap. It's just me saying I can't wrap my head around this, and I don't know how do you validate a claim that's so fantastic, and that's like these people that claim that they're channeling Pleiadians and stuff like that, and it's is it again? I'm not saying it's not possible, but why this person? Why are they contacting you and spreading these galactic truths? And and it doesn't. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to understand. And again, it's not me saying it couldn't be possible. It's just me saying I don't get it. I don't understand. And the problem, I guess, that I have with a lot of that is that they usually come across as so authoritarian, like, well, this is this, and this is what I was told because I was told this. And it's like, well, okay, but what if you were told wrong? Or what if that's not what you're talking to? What if that's not what you're talking to at all, and it's actually something that's really trying to mess with you or cause problems for you? And, I always worry about that because how can you tell the difference between channeling a Pleiadian versus being, oppressed by a demon? How do you differentiate that? And that's where it gets really funny for me. So I do believe there's dark things out there, and they mimic stuff all the time. So I don't know.
Yeah, I actually agree with that because like even us, we understand that we can't we may never in our lifetime know the
Right.
facts.
Right.
And when people say like, yes, this is what's happening. Yes, this is what I'm channeling. How do you know that though? Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, and it's kind of, you can let them have their belief that, but it doesn't mean that they have to be right either. They could be not right. I wonder why that won't rephrase. I'm trying to resize this window, but it's not letting me.
Rachel says, Brent, I did find the UFO lab website in Japan.
Oh, cool.
But it's all in Japanese. It will need a language filter. I can put it in Discord so we can look at it with the language filter on if it works.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, that'd be really cool. It'd be neat to see because I literally don't know what kind of activity they have in Japan, and I think that stuff is fascinating. And I wish there was more of those repositories for reports all around, like MUFON and New Force. But anyway, Steel City Stacker came in. Hello, everybody. I'm listening while driving. Hope everyone's having a great Friday evening. I'll get to chat when I get to my destination. Drive safe,
Excellent.
brother. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. So, but yeah, I that's the part where I'm not sure when people are, I'm channeling the tall Nordics, the or something. And well, how do you know? How do you know that it's not Lokthor the pit demon or something? I mean, you just don't know. Uh-oh, something went wrong, it says, but it looks like it's working. I don't know. Does anybody have any technical difficulties out there?
It's looking a little laggy.
Is it? Well, I mean, it's always laggy because my computer's a brick. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. But again, I'm not...
TV's lagging.
Huh?
Oh, your TV was... Okay, it's... Your TV... You're moving fine. The TV in the background is like...
Yeah, that's showing... Because that runs off my computer, too. So that's off of the same system. And so that'll give you an idea of my latency right there. Look at that thing. It's going... Nyeh. So
that's the benchmark. Yep.
Yeah, there it is. That's my benchmark. It's frozen right now almost. Yeah, I don't know what's chewing up so much resources here. I should look. Probably Zoom. Let me disconnect Zoom. Just joking.
Wait.
Just joking, Sheldon. You can stay with us. That's fine. But yeah, anyway, let's get to more news. This is still the news, so I've ended up editorializing in a lot of it. But all right, so that was the UFO report. Next up on the news, what was this one?
Rachel said she put it in the Discord UFO section.
Okay, so if you're not a member of the Discord, become one because you can check that out. NASA, Space and Astronomy. Oh, this was kind of neat. I got to wait for my computer now. There it goes, finally. There it goes. It's going to get a little faster as I close these articles after I've read them. Here's the next article, folks, from unexplained-mysteries.com. This is Space and Astronomy. I don't know how big this one is. No, it's fine. It's not too long. But this is NASA to send spacecraft to investigate mysterious domes on the moon. What are these? Domes. I don't know. Where's the domes? I see craters. I don't know.
Oh, God, is that
are they? Yeah. Well, maybe they're not. Maybe they're domes. But look at. I mean, are they talking about these hills or something? I don't know. Let's see. The mission will focus on solving the mystery of the. Are you serious? Look at that word. What the hell is that? The Gruithuisen domes. I'm just going to call them domes from now on. I'm going to brutalize that word every time. Which were first discovered in the 1800s. I assume it must mean the piles of earth that are dome-like, maybe. Oh, what the hell? Oh, we lost Sheldon. Derp. Yeah, I'm having all kinds of fun here, folks. I hope your connections are going okay. It might be laggy as hell. I apologize, but it's been kind of a doggy internet day here anyway. There goes the chat. The chat's flying. But Zoom is not. Yeah, I see you're disconnected, Sheldon. So let me just finish reading this article here and I'll look into troubleshooting Zoom. I don't know what the hell's happening. I might have to send Sheldon another link. Did it actually close? I guess it did. Okay. The mission will focus on the domes which first discovered in the 1800s. Over the years, there have been a number of controversial claims concerning anomalous features on the lunar surface, and while most of these have turned out to be little more than pareidolia, the domes are very much the real deal. Originally discovered in the 19th century by Franz van Gruithuisen, I guess, these perplexing surface features have been described by scientists as one of the most enigmatic locations on the moon. While the domes are more likely to be naturally occurring geological phenomena as opposed to anything else built by extraterrestrials, their exact nature and origins continue to remain an enigma. Part of the reasons the domes are so mysterious is that they appear to be a form of volcano that shouldn't technically exist at all on the moon due to the lack of certain resources. On Earth, silicic volcanoes typically form in the presence of two ingredients, water and plate tectonics. The mission statement reads, but without these key ingredients on the moon, scientists are left to wonder, how did the domes form? Now, in a renewed bid to solve the mystery once and for all, NASA will be launching a spacecraft, Blue Ghost Mission 3, which will consist of an orbiter, a lander, and a rover. It is currently scheduled to launch in 2028. Man, Elon shoots stuff up to bring sandwiches, and they take this many years to get a lunar lander. We are beginning to have actual hardware and building our instruments, and we now know how we will get them deployed to the lunar surface and what our rover will look like, said Jessica Sunshine, a professor of astronomy and geology at the University of Maryland. Her last name is Sunshine. What? I didn't even know there was a last name Sunshine. I'll get with you in a second, Sheldon. Hold on. What started as a concept and then figures in a proposal is now amazingly really happening. While the project has a lot of work to do, particularly as we integrate with Firefly, this marks a new exciting phase that gets us tantalizingly close to going from paper to the moon. Are you kidding me? We put remote control cars on Mars already. Why are they making this sound so hard? I don't understand, but I mean, nothing's quick. But yeah, bring back Sheldon. Hashtag bring back Sheldon. You guys love him. All right, let me see what's going on with this Zoom stuff. All right, let's do a new meeting because that one just pooped the bed. Yeah, it's not going to work. Let's close that one. All right, here we go. Let's do a new meeting. A new Sheldon meeting. And I'll send him a new Sheldon link. You have a meeting that is currently in progress. Please end it and start a new one. It already did end. What are you talking about? End other meeting. Okay. Love me some technical difficulties right after dinner. Okay, here we go. Let me do... What the hell is that? I didn't need that. I need the arrow. Got to get the link, and I'm going to have to send it to Sheldon. So there you go. They're going to the moon again, folks. I guess we got that going for us. We've been there in 1969, and Ghost, you're following me on Twitch. God bless you. I just see that on the email as I'm sending Sheldon this link. Dope, Gilligan. There we go. All right, got to send this off to Sheldon with the subject link, and send the link. All right, we'll try this. Hopefully, okay, the message is sent, Sheldon. It should be with you shortly. And please feel free to join at your leisure. All right, well, we're bringing Sheldon back. I see there was an uproar in chat to bring Sheldon back, and by God, who might argue with that? Hello, Southern Belle Bigfoot. Good to see you. Wonderful to see you. All right, there he is.
All right.
Mr. Sheldon Thomas is back, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it was you. Maybe you were the dog one on that.
I was the what?
The dog on that one. Latency. What? Lag. You know? Your connection dogging, but no, I mean my portal animation says it all.
I was thinking, I guess another insult to add to the list.
Oh my God. Are you keeping track? Are you really?
Well, first we got fat, now I'm a dog.
Oh my God.
Man, how can we, how far can we go?
Don't forget Dick.
There's another one to the list, yes.
Yeah, put that one on there. That's another one. Just as long as we're brainstorming these things. God. I don't need this kind of abuse. I can get this anytime from Mrs. Portal. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, what's the good word? The unknown popped in. Good to see you, brother. So that's the that's the second article. Sheldon, you better be keeping track, Kitty Cattywack says.
That's right. Yeah, we got 3.
Jaren says Sheldon reincarnated. Jaren, we're going to have to go get some burritos again, brother. You know, remember Sheldon? The burritos?
Oh, Best burritos I've ever had in my life. Oh my god.
Ever. And me too.
Legitimately, I've never had better. Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Vernal, Utah, there is this hole in the wall restaurant. And Tony Merkel knows about it too, because we took him there.
Yep.
He and Jack to this same place. But oh my God, they are the greatest freaking burritos in the world. I'm talking, I've never eaten any. I usually don't like traditional burritos, but oh my God, these were incredible. Really bad for me too. Hey, Bill Simone over on X checking in. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, brother. But
It's definitely not good for us, but it was so
oh
good.
God, I ate till I was in pain. But
Yeah.
you just couldn't not eat it. It was so delicious.
Like, you didn't want to risk like leftovers and how the quality goes down. No way.
I'm betting the leftovers probably been amazing. Probably been amazing. Yep, Jaron says he's down with that. So there you go. They were so good. Yeah. So I don't even remember what this place was called. Do you remember, Jaron? We should give him a plug, because not that, we probably have a lot of listeners in Vernal, but oh my God, that was amazing.
Oh, it was so good.
Ghost.
We're absolutely. I mean, that's the place we're going to when we get back to Vernal.
Yeah, that's like I think in every night we're there, we just eat those damn burritos.
No complaints. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, well, let's get to the last news story of the night. And what was this? Oh, this one was kind of cool. This one just popped up. And again, everybody knows that, of course, Elon Musk is heading up the Doge team, and they're doing some huge stuff in Washington, ruffling a lot of feathers too. But they're doing a lot of audits. And according to this, they uncovered something pretty interesting, folks. And here we go. And this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Wait for oh, now my thing isn't working. Are you freaking serious? What the hell?
Your PC's on its last leg. Oh my
last
God.
leg. It's not even. It's like doing a belly crawl at this point. I gotta. Here we go. Let me do this. Here we go. It was close.
The stream is in pain. Holy jeez.
What?
The stream lagged out massively for a second.
Oh, did it? Well, maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know what the hell's going on. Here we go, though. This is the last news story, and then we'll get into the rest of the show. God only knows how that's going to go. UFO phenomena. Secret FBI UFO research group disclosed amid Musk purge concerns. I guess it's, that's Fox Mulder's desk from the X-Files, isn't it? Yeah. Elon Musk efforts to cut back on necessary spending has brought about the disclosure of a secretive FBI group. Oh no, we lost Sheldon again. Arg! All right, I'm going to finish this article, Sheldon. Stand by. We'll be with you shortly. I don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, my computer's doggy, but this is like stupid doggy. I don't even get it. But anyway, let me close a few excess windows here. According to reports, FBI agents who have been tasked with investigating the UFO phenomena are concerned that they could lose their jobs amid Elon Musk's efforts to save money by purging the U.S. government of departments and roles deemed to be unnecessary. The news comes as something of a surprise, as the existence of such a group within the FBI wasn't even officially recognized until now. I've spoken to several agents from the UAP working group who are afraid of losing their role and the investigation getting unintentionally compromised, said Ryan Graves, Executive Director of Americans for Safe Aerospace. I'm concerned that the FBI's UAP working group could be affected by transition changes, and these leaders might not be aware of the incredible work these agents are doing and how their investigation could be empowered as part of a formalized intergovernmental effort. Sounds like someone's justifying some funding because they aren't reporting what they're doing, obviously. The group in question is believed to consist of one program manager and at least a dozen employees. While we have no comment on any questions regarding FBI personnel matters, the FBI investigates unidentified anomalous phenomena and when there is a potential for violation of federal law. I think it's federally not legal to violate our airspace. So just by virtue of being there, they're violating federal law, quote unquote. Particularly unlawful acts that could adversely affect our national interests, and to gather, share, and analyze intelligence to combat security threats facing the U.S., the FBI said in a statement. Whether or not the UFO group actually will be disbanded, however, remains to be seen. Well, there you go. I don't know, folks. I guess maybe Musk didn't uncover it, but they kind of uncovered themselves, I guess. But it wasn't even known that this existed. So, I mean, obviously they were working in secret anyway, and we probably weren't going to glean any benefits from their whatever the hell they're doing. So I don't know. I will say the stream is running much smoother after I got kicked. Oh, nice. Maybe you are the problem. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so there you go, folks. I do like that. I like that Fox Mulder's desk. That's pretty epic. I haven't seen it like that in a long, long time, but brings back memories, folks. Mulder's basement office and the I Want to Believe poster in the background there. That's pretty fantastic. All right, but I guess that's probably going to wrap it up. I'm kind of going to close that, and let's get back to the rest of the show. And in the meantime, I'm going to send Sheldon another invite, and we'll just cross our fingers and hope something works. I think that's working now, hopefully. Looks like that refreshed. God only I hope so. All right, let's check it out. Back to the rest of the show. Here we go. Pause for effect. And I'll keep coming back because that's what heroes do. Wow, just having a little you party here, aren't we? All right, let's get the Zoom back up. I don't know what the hell's going on. It is rather maddening, though. I wonder if it's going to have another meeting already going. All right, let's just launched. All right, here we go. Copy invite link. Let's see if we can keep Sheldon for the rest of the show. I don't know. I don't think it's just I don't think it's just Zoom, but anyway, let me just do this and reply to Sheldon again and just paste this link in here. All right. The new link is sent, Sheldon. Hopefully it's going to work better, at least, than it was. Time will tell, of course, but all we can do is try. Oh, yeah, that. I don't need that open. Can close that. What the hell is this? I don't need that open either. I'm finding things that I can close because I think I got to close things to hopefully help get this under wraps. I hear you, Sheldon. I hear you.
This will be strike 3. Here we go.
Oh, really? Are we? Is this the last shot? Are you just calling it a night?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it was running smooth, and like when I'm on call, I don't know if it's Zoom doing this, but everything lags. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. We'll just keep an eye on it, I guess. I'll bring you up on screen, of course, so you can be seen. There you are.
Yes.
There you are. Okay.
I have arrived. I came back from the well after getting Spartan kicked. Someone said in chat.
You got Spartan kicked. This is Sparta.
I don't remember who said it. I don't know who said it, but yeah, it was a good reference.
Brent, stop being me and having 37 tabs open. 37 would be an improvement. I think I'm not much. I think I'm probably in the 20s right now. But there's been times where I've had like literally 50 some tabs open. And I installed a a truckload of RAM on this computer. There's like 64 gigs of RAM on this thing, and it's still doing this. And then I have a pretty decent video card. Could be better, but anyway, I don't know. But then again, this computer is literally about 6 or 7 years old now, I guess.
Mine is too.
Yours is.
It's not. That's not true.
There's
That's
no
a
way.
lie. That's a lie.
Because you got the RTX on there, so that's definitely way newer.
Yeah, everything's probably like 3 years old at most.
Oh, that's baby sized. What is this doing?
Yeah.
Why did that pop up? That's weird. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, well, we're going to see how this goes. And now YouTube's crabbing at me too, so might as well. Not getting enough data. Not getting enough data. It's like, absolutely tabulous. Well, I'm quite tabulous, thank you. AI, that's not Sheldon. Oh, they think you're an AI build, Sheldon.
That would be an improvement.
How do you know?
Because robots are not limited by the physical.
Well, it's not a robot, though. If it's AI, you're just a digital rendering.
Software.
Software. There you go. Yep. All right. I always have a bunch of tabs open. I'm always do 3 or 4 different things at once. Well, I don't multitask. I just leave stuff open so I don't lose it because I'm very forgetful. What did you just do?
Oh, John T said, does he have 6 fingers? So I'm showing that I'm human.
Yeah, you're not the hand model for the confessionals. You ever notice that on the confessionals handprint?
That's right.
It's got six fingers. Yeah, that's funny. And it was last year that I actually realized that. So go figure.
You're the one that pointed it out to me. That's right.
Yeah, it was when we were there. I'm like, why is there so many? Oh, that's what it is. It's like, I get the gimmick. I didn't notice that at first. It was very subtle. So anyway, I think I'm getting a second one just to get rid of the extreme lag, the back part of the property, which of course is where the house has horrible reception. Oh, really? Oh, you're on Starlink, aren't you, Karen? That's right.
Oh, Starlink, nice.
Yep, she's using Starlink. She's kind of out in the sticks though, so yeah, go to use what you can. Sheldon, go to sleep. Just kidding. It wasn't a test. All right.
Yeah,
So we've been burning through an article that we started last show from Ranker.com. And we're going to go back to that. Let me see who's this is Michael Choi. It's from Ranker.com. Michael Choi is the one that compiled this. And so these are real life creepypastas. In other words, these are stories like creepypasta, but they are allegedly real. And it's from Ranker.com, folks. So please check out Ranker because there's a whole ton of great stuff over there. But let's get to this. And we're on, we went through a few of them last week or on last show. So let's do some more now. Oh, that transition actually worked pretty slick. Didn't even delay. All right, here we go. So this is Unnerving House Guest is this one, Sheldon. And I'm going to read it to you guys so you can see what you think. Is that fitting on this page or not really?
Yeah, almost.
I'm trying to crunch it in a little bit. There we go. Now the margins are on the screen. All right, The Unnerving House Guest. This happened to a friend of mine, and she told me about it a year or so ago, and we'll call her Minji. Who could be called Minji?
I like the uniqueness of it, though.
It sounds like a cat. Come here, Minji. Kitty. All right, Minji's in her late 20s, and she works as an English tutor in South Korea. Oh, there you go. I got it now. English tutor in South Korea. And one evening, a few years ago, she was tutoring a high school boy. They were up studying pretty late, and the buses stopped running. And being a long way from his house, the boy asked if he could just crash on her floor overnight and get the first bus in the next morning. Sure he did. Minji was very reluctant because inviting a teenage male student to stay the night didn't sound like a great idea, but he was begging her, and eventually she relented. That's a great way to get unemployed,
That's
lady.
where it all went wrong.
I know. It's like, yeah, every once in a while you hit a part of a story where it's like, yeah, that's the point. That was it right there. All right. Well, here it goes. They went back to her one-room apartment.
Good.
Oh, that's even worse. And she got into the bed while he laid on a blanket out on the floor, and they both fell asleep. A few hours later, at maybe 2 a.m., the boy wakes Minji up. I bet he did. I'm really hungry, he says. Let's go get some food. Well, Minji opens her eyes and looks up at him in disbelief. Food? Now? It's 2 a.m. Go back to bed. But the student insists. No, I'm so hungry. Let's go eat something now. And she tells him that there's some ramen in the kitchen and he can fix himself some. But this doesn't satisfy him. He doesn't want ramen. Well, this is a real problem child, isn't it? There's a 24-hour place just down the road. Let's go there. Well, eventually, after several minutes of persuasion, the boy gets Minji to come with him to the restaurant, and they leave the apartment and head out. And as soon as they're on the street, the boy turns to Minji and says, I'm not hungry. I woke up in the middle of the night and looked under your bed, and there's a man sleeping there. Oh, God. Well, they call the police and discover that a homeless man had been living in Minji's apartment, sleeping under her bed for over 2 months. The boy only saw him because he was lying on her floor, so he had a clear view under the bed. The police arrested the man, and thankfully there were no other issues, but that's by far the creepiest thing that's ever happened to anyone I know. Yeah, that's...
Oh, my God.
How in the hell?
What a twist of a story. At first, my God, this guy is annoying. Oh, my Lord. And
yeah.
He's the hero.
It turns out it was a good thing he was there. Even though it probably wasn't a good thing he was there, it was a good thing he turned out to be there. But on the other hand, this guy had been living in her house for months, and she probably needs to drag a vacuum around every once in a while, including under the bed, right?
I mean, that tells you how much she cleans. Also,
I just pick up mostly. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Ghost Girl's doll. This one sounds more up our wheelhouse. The last one isn't necessarily paranormal, but that sure as hell ain't normal. So
yeah.
Here we go. Ghost Girl's doll. I work at the Myrtles Plantation, and I have so many of these stories and events that visitors tell me. The creepiest one, in my opinion, is that you can sleep at the plantation, kind of like a bed and breakfast. Well, we have a room that's filled with these creepy ceramic dolls. And there's one doll, though, that was one of the children's favorites and always in bed with her at night. Well, the child later passed, too long to explain, and the doll stayed on the bed with her. When we were starting having house guests at the Myrtles, we kept the doll on the bed in the memory of the child. And the first night, when someone slept in the room, she moved the doll to get more comfortable in the morning, the doll was back in the bed with its hands on the guest's throat. Well, she came out outraged and accused us that we did something in her room. Well, nobody went in nor out of her room that night at all. The next guest moved the doll as well when he was sleeping, and we heard tapping on the wood floors, and he woke up and noticed that the doll on the floor where the sound was coming from. Anytime someone who is staying in the room moves the doll will come back on the bed. Ooh. Well.
Oh.
What do you think of that, Sheldon? It's a ceramic doll, too, so it's not even the snuggly kind, right? It's not like it's soft. It's like, those little porcelain hands in the head. It's just...
That doll can go to hell.
That might have already been there by the sounds of it. I'm just saying. Yeah. All right, here's the next one. Always standing, always staring, sometimes smiling. This is my true story, and it's a bit long, so bear with me. So most of this story takes place back when I was just a little kid. I lived in a nice neighborhood in a relatively small town in Southern California. I had this person growing up, and there's a reason that I don't call him a friend. I would see him everywhere, but the majority of the times that I saw him, it was in my house. Yeah, that's creepy already. It's like, what's he doing in your house? The man was completely black. And no, I don't mean race. I mean actually full on pitch black. His clothes were indiscernible. His face was hard to make any judgment calls about. The only distinct feature I remember were his eyes, red eyes, and he had the most terrifying red eyes. The entire eye was red. Not just the iris, by the way. It's weird writing about them now, and I can see them in my mind's eye, and it gives me the chills. I would never be an auspicious. It would never be in an auspicious moment when he arrived. It wasn't the clock striking noon or the second the sun went down. It would just be random. I'd be playing with my Lincoln logs, and without as much as a whisper, he'd be there with me. He would never do much, just stare and smile. Well, if he's all black and all his features are not discernible, how do you know he's smiling? Anyway, then he'd leave as quietly as he came. The longest he stayed with me was probably a little over an hour, just standing there looking down. Well, anyway, as the years went by, I began to get accustomed to his presence. He'd appear, and usually I would just nod. And I even got used to using the restroom around him. That's just how often he was around, standing ever so close or ever so far away. The funny thing was, my entire family knew about him, and to this day, still know. They never saw him themselves. My sister was the one who always believed me. My parents were slightly more skeptical, and eventually it became normal for them to hear about the black man in my room. I eventually stopped saying anything at all when he appeared. I tried everything, talking to him, yelling at him, asking him questions, and one time I even got the courage to touch him, and he merely stepped away from my reach, so I just left it at that. Occasionally, he would give me a smile. The reason I don't refer to him as evil, hateful, or whatever is because he never hurt me, never even tried, just watched and smiled. Those red eyes never stopped making me shiver. But that was mostly just me. We eventually moved out of that house, childhood gone. I bid goodbye to the Shadow Man. He was there on the last day before the move. His grin that day seemed to be plastered on his face. I didn't waver for a second. I was about age 9 at this point. And the next years of my life were blessedly free of his presence. No more watchful red eyes, no more crying myself to sleep. Speaking of sleep, I've in fact experienced sleep paralysis before, but the Shadow Man was never part of these experiences. Fast forward to age 16, I was walking up to my room. It was after midnight, and I hadn't thought about the black man in a long time. I was walking down the hallway that leads to my room when the man emerged from my brother's room. His red eyes focused on me, and he flashed me a smile. He slowly walked across the hallway into my room. And that is where most movie protagonists would chase that bastard down and ask for some answers, or fight him. Well, I did neither of these things. I turned around, walked back down the stairs, and left my house. I then sat on the curb until morning. I haven't seen him again since then. My sister still remembers him, though. My parents remember hearing so much about him, but I think that it was just my imagination. But they think it was just my imagination. To be fair, I'm a pretty imaginative person. I daydream a lot, but nothing ever physically manifested out of those daydreams, and I understand why they were skeptical. That's odd. It's just kind of this benign presence, right?
Yeah, it's really odd.
Huh. Anybody have any thoughts about the shadow person with red glowing eyes?
Yeah. I mean, maybe you just got its fill.
Maybe he did.
Mean, it creeped him out, so there was fear generated.
Right.
Consistently.
Crying him or herself asleep. I don't know if it was a boy or girl. I don't remember that coming up. But in any case, it's kind of weird. But again, it seemed like a very benign presence. It was just there.
Yeah.
No real thoughts?
Weird. I mean, I mean, John says anything sitting in the corner with face creepy. Face creepy, yeah.
Yeah, it is strange. I mean, just the fact that it was just there.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like he did well, no, because he said he's had sleep paralysis, but it was never
Associated
the
with it that he knew,
no,
or she
well
knew,
that he knew of.
he or she
Yes,
knew. I mean, it doesn't mean it wasn't actually there doing it, but I don't know. Maybe it was doing it every night, and they only became aware of it a few times. You know, that whole sleep paralysis thing. I mean,
that's bizarre. It's a
well,
bizarre one.
I mean, you can only be aware of sleep paralysis if you happen to be in the waking state, you know. Like if you're still deep in dreamland, disconnected, then you could be experiencing sleep paralysis. And you probably do, because the whole thing, so the whole medical sleep paralysis thing is apparently our brains release a chemical while we sleep that disconnects the activity in our brain, the actions and things we're envisioning, from being acted out by our physical body. So it's actually a neurochemical thing where it disconnects our brain basically from our body while we sleep, so that we don't have a dream of running down a field of flowers and end up going out our window and falling to our death. You know,
Right,
so I mean,
right.
that is a you know, something that, you know, I guess all of us experience sleep paralysis by definition. It's just we're not usually conscious of it, because by the time we wake up, our bodies have been purged of that chemical, and it's no longer disconnected. So I don't know. Maybe that's why when I wake up, it's just like, oh, you know, it's like everything is a lot more effort to move and get up. And maybe
Well,
that's the
probably
way
because
for all of us.
it's wearing off.
Right.
It's
Yeah. Maybe it takes a lot more mental pressure and focus to actually move ourselves when we're getting up, because we're in that groggy, you know, trying to move phase. But
I
I don't
actually
know.
didn't know about that. That's really cool.
Yeah. So the medical paralysis is a phenomenon where the body and the brain aren't waking up at the same at the same point. So that, you know, the brain, the active conscious part of us, wakes up too fast, and the body hasn't purged this chemical. So we're just like stuck, you know.
It's creepy.
It is creepy. It's horrible. Now, I've experienced sleep paralysis over a period of years. It was very
Yeah,
regularly happening to me, but I really do believe that it wasn't the medical kind. It was a spiritual kind.
I agree.
But it was, you know, pretty horrendous.
Hmm.
But I learned how to break it, you know, and honestly, it's nothing magical. It's nothing amazing. It was just, I figured if I could just get something to move, and oftentimes it would just be like a finger, you know, just making a finger wiggle, and being aware that I was making my finger wiggle, and just grabbing onto that with my entire focus and effort. And then I would get a couple fingers moving, and then my hand, and then I would, you know, keep doing it. Rachel says, I've had waking amnesia, but not sleep paralysis. But the interesting thing about that is that once I figured out how to break it, and it was like I could feel it coming again when it would come, and I would just break it over and over before it actually even started. And then it just stopped. It was like, I don't know. So is it spiritual? Is it just some medical thing? Maybe either or. I don't know. It always felt like there was a presence with it, though. Like it always felt like there was an intelligence behind it. And
Yeah.
that ominous feeling of something pinning me, and I couldn't move. So,
Waking amnesia. I didn't know that other people had actually experienced that. I have a vivid memory when I was younger. When I was with you that day, and I remember waking up and I didn't know where I was. I didn't know who I was.
oh, really?
Yeah, but
Wow.
there's only one time I remember it happening,
Mhm.
but it did happen once, where I didn't remember anything, and after like maybe a minute, everything came back, but it was like I was lost for like
Wow.
for a bit. I didn't know that was a thing that people experience. I thought it was just crazy.
The only time that ever happened to me was when I did DMT. I smoked DMT once, and it was like I lost all sense of me being a person. I didn't have an identity. I didn't have a name. I didn't have an idea what the hell was going on.
Oh, that's right.
I was just
Yeah.
floating in blackness. And then I somehow finally got my name back, and I just grabbed onto it with all of my focus, like, oh, that's my anchor, that's my anchor. And then it all came back slowly, but I had the visual artifacts for about 20 minutes after that, looking around and seeing the light patterns on everything. It was really, really wild. But
Hey, is unknown? Are you talking about DMT or are you talking about
DMT.
waking amnesia?
DMT,
I don't
the
know.
only time I've had waking amnesia was, but it wasn't a complete amnesia. Like I knew who I was, but I had had a dream about my grandmother. And it was a really bizarre dream. I still remember the dream really clearly, but I don't think it was necessarily a visitation from my grandmother. But I woke up thinking, oh, first of all, I didn't know where I was. And I had to look around and kind of get that bearing. But then I was like, oh, I should go see grandma. And then the sadness of remembering that she had passed years ago. And it was just like, oh, she's gone.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was like I woke up and I just felt like, oh, I want to go see grandma. I really miss her. And in my mind in that moment I was just like, yeah, I was planning to do that. And then it just came back. It's like, oh, she's gone, you know?
Oh, that's like the depressing kind of.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Ooh.
really sad. And maybe it was some form of visitation, but it wasn't as profound and lucid as a lot of those visitations are. So maybe it was more of a passing thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Roman's in chat. Roman says Brent did DMT. Wow, we need the full story.
here's the thing. I would never recommend it to anybody to do that kind of thing, but I literally did it very intentionally. And it wasn't a whole lot of years ago. It was, maybe 5 years ago or something, but it was just, I wanted to understand what that meant because I'd never seen hallucinations that I know of. And I was like, what is that like to see things completely different than normal? And a friend of mine was a neo shaman type. And I went over and visited him. He's like, hey, let's go to the moon. I'm like, what? And so he did. He brought me up into his house and we sat and I puffed it 3 big puffs. And the next thing I know, the whole hyperspace, you hear this term like hyperspace. And I never really knew what that meant, but honest to God, it's like hyperspace. And it's like you actually kind of hear this sound in your head. It's like, and it's like everything changed. And my eyes he's like, close your eyes, just relax. I just finished it. So I'm like that. And all of a sudden, it was like I was going across the galaxy and it was just crazy. And then suddenly I was just in this void of darkness, just absolute blackness. And I still had my eyes closed, but I didn't have a concept of having eyes anymore either. And I was like, I didn't know who I was or what was going on. I was just present in this black void space. And it's like, what in the hell is going on? What, who am I? What is this? What is this moment? And, yeah, Justin says hi as a mofo. Yeah, maybe it was a very potent experience, but then it was just like, I suddenly felt kind of panicked by that. Like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I am. I was just this conscious ball, I guess, kind of. And then I remembered my name. And it was like, I remember just when it came back to me, I just grabbed onto it like a life jacket when you're drowning. It's like you're drowning in this moment. And my name came to me. And then that was my life jacket. That was my anchor. And I just clung to it. And then I just really was focused on it. I remember just kind of gritting my teeth, just like trying to get back my sense of self. And then all of a sudden in this black void, everything erupted into this amazing mandala pattern, just this explosion like the Big Bang. And suddenly I'm in this void of space with this amazing lights and patterns of light and stuff all around me. I'm looking around going, wow. And it just kept expanding and expanding and expanding. And then by then I had finally got my name back and my identity back. And then I opened my eyes. And that same light pattern was impressed on everything in the room. Like as the walls go this way, the light pattern was impressed like it was painted on there or being projected on there. And then the walls, the angled ceiling, And everything had that on its surface, on every wall, everything. It was like I was seeing this light pattern in 3D on every surface. And I'm like, oh, that's what it means. And it was as real as anything else I'm seeing right now. And then I looked at my friend who was sitting just a few feet away from me. And he's looking at me, and he had hit it too. And he's looking at me, just kind of got this grin on his face. But he was transformed, not that he didn't look like himself, but he had this like, almost like Aztec glowing paint all over him. Like it was very, very tribal. It was very, very, I mean, shamanistic, I guess. But it's like, oh my God. And it was there. It was like it was painted on his skin. And then slowly the colors over, the next 10 minutes started fading. And then I was back on Earth, in my moment. But that's what the experience was. But again, it was something that I did as an adult and a person trying to understand what does it mean? Because I cover stories of people seeing stuff all the time that they can't possibly comprehend. And I always wonder, could some of it be hallucinations? And what is that like to see something? And it's very real, but it's not actually there for anybody else. So that was kind of my exploration. Now, that's the only time I've ever done anything like that. And I don't feel like I wanted to do anymore, but I wanted to understand what that was like. And it was it was done in, as an adult, making adult choices, and I was safe. I wasn't out, at a party or driving or anything. I was, in this spot. Now, the good thing about that form was that, basically it lasts for 15 minutes and that's it. Then you're back, you're yourself. But it did change me in a sense. Like I feel like it's kind of, gave me an awareness that I didn't have before. So I think it was cool,
Wow.
So true story. It's like,
I'll probably try it at some point.
well, don't do it because I tried. Don't do it for any other reason than
No.
No. But be safe about it. And I'm not recommending anybody do it. You don't know how it'll react with you. There's a lot of considerations.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
Be careful with any kind of substances. But since you guys asked, I'm just sharing what my experience was. Yep.
I like the idea of the spiritual experience side of it.
Yeah,
it's not more like, oh my God, I just want to get high. It's more just like, experiencing that possibly, it's probably not guaranteed, but the possibly possibly changing experience spiritually that I could have.
It might be. I mean, of course, there's lots of research being done with those kinds of substances, just in terms of dealing with depression and microdosing for, having better life and stuff. And I'm all for that. I think that, because a lot of times depression is, the unknown says, Brent, can you take acid before the next show? No.
That is another level.
I don't need to be like on a 10-hour, hyperdrive trip into the cosmos, watching my desk melt or something. It's like, no, I'm good, thanks.
I'm pretty sure acid's not good for your brain.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's with you after you take it. It's with you for the rest of your life. And I guess they can test for it via Spinal Tap.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, which is a horrible, horrible thing. I've had one of those, and not because they were testing for drugs, but because I had horrible, horrible headaches. I had to get injections. They'd had to test my spinal fluid for part of that, and that was hell. I hated those. But no, I'm not a psychonaut by definition. So
definitely.
My journey was over. I just wanted to understand. Now I understand. Here's the next one, and then we're going to get to some. God.
Whoa, Raspberry said my uncle went on an acid trip when he was 19 and never quite came back.
Yeah.
So I stay away from hallucinogenics just in case it's a genetic thing.
Yeah, good call. I mean, you got to that's the other side of it, of course. Some people don't come back or they have horrible trips and they get broke. I mean, it just breaks them. Yeah. So be careful. Don't ever mess with the stuff.
Always responsibly.
Yep. Always be very, very extraordinarily careful about things like that. And again, I'm not promoting that by any measure. It's just you guys asked, so I'm just being honest. All right, the next story is the Devil's Cot. This occurrence didn't happen to me, but to my grandmother. And it would have taken place in the 1930s. My grandmother was a young teen at the time, and she lived with her mother and 5 siblings in an old house in the middle of the woods. The area was the Ozark Mountains in southern Missouri. My grandmother had got into a fight with her mother, and she took off into the woods all day just to get away from her for a while. When it got dark, she decided to come home, and when she got home, the doors were locked, and everyone was in bed. There was an old cot sitting outside of the house, and she just decided to sleep on the cot until morning. In the morning, when she woke up, there was some creature sitting at the end of the cot. It's been 15 years since I've heard this story, and she only told me once. So my memory is a little fuzzy, and I remember she said it was really ugly and had a full set of sharp teeth. And it was shaped like a person, but it didn't look like a person. She said that it just sat there and smiled at her with its abnormally large mouth of sharp teeth. When she started to get up from the cot to get away, it would start to get up and move towards her. When she would sit back down, it would sit back down. She sat there staring at it for a few seconds, and it continued to sit and just smile at her. The creature was sitting between her and the front door, and she finally jumped up and made a run for the back door. When she got to the back door, it was locked, but her mother was in the kitchen making biscuits, and she was banging on the door, screaming to be let in. And her mother told her to go around the front because her hands were covered in dough. My grandmother screamed that she couldn't, and was frantic enough that her mother ran to let her in. She told her mother what she had seen, and she had my grandmother's 2 brothers take the cot out to the woods and chop it up and burn it. Yikes.
Jeez.
So does it sound like an attachment on that cot, maybe?
That's the insinuation, it seems like.
Yeah, and it sounds like a one-time only event, but what did she see? That's the weird thing. Was that a demon? Was that just some kind of a goblin or something else, like on the promo picture for the show tonight?
Well, it's kind of like you said, though, before, is that demons don't really want to be found. They don't really want to be known.
Right. Yeah. Well, no, they don't. Right. So, but unless it just doesn't have any designs on that person, I don't know what their criteria is for a demon. It does seem pretty personal usually. Mm-hmm. And I suspect that some of it might be more of a servitor than a demon. And a servitor is like a curse that has an intelligence, or a spell that has an intelligence. And if somebody practices dark stuff, they can send a servitor, which is basically like an evil spirit that's going to serve a purpose. Mm. And so almost like a golem of a sort, but only energetic. It'll do just what it's told to do, and it won't stop until it's, I guess, runs out of energy. So that's really weird.
What's the thing? I've always had bad, like,
Raspberry says big biscuit energy.
What the hell?
I got big biscuits energy.
biscuit goblin.
You guys are crazy. I love it. Now you're making me hungry, John.
Oh no.
Hell no.
You call me fat. I'm just kidding.
Shut up, dude. What were you going to say? What was your point?
Okay. Let me just PS, guys. Okay, little PSA here. He doesn't actually ever call me fat.
Yeah, you're going to make people hate
the
me.
Opposite.
Yeah. I tell you, love yourself and believe in yourself. You can do anything, and then you called me fat. Oh,
guys.
Anyway, did you have a point about the biscuit gravy goblin or what?
That was not me.
Okay, did you have a point that you were going to make?
Yeah, I feel like it's important to, like, for anyone who, out there who don't, I just have a feeling to say this: don't mess with curses or cursing people.
Yeah.
Or anything of that sort, just because it always comes back.
Well, there's a power, there's. So I hate the saying that words are powerful. That's why they call it spelling, because it's not anything to do with that. I mean, that's not the same thing as, because you can spell a letter that you're actually doing magic. I don't like that simile at all, and it gets used so much. And it's like, a spell is essentially the same as just sending an intention at somebody. And you do have to be careful about, what your intentions are and what you're sending out. Like when you really hate somebody and you're just sitting there focusing on how much you hate them, you are sending them a version of a spell, in a sort of way. And you have to realize that, there's a reciprocal event, energy goes both directions in those situations. So you're actually drawing dark things to you by holding on to dark thoughts and dark energy. And, the words that we speak are really the bridge between the spiritual and the physical, because it's the vibration of sound. It's the creation or the manifestation of thought into the physical world around us in a very direct way. So that's why words are powerful. And so it's also why prayer is powerful. When you pray out loud and you ask, and of course you're vibrating that out into the world around you. So you just got to be careful. Don't hang on to the dark things. Just try to be positive, because you could inadvertently be casting curses and spells just because we are manifestors by our very nature. We manifest things. And so be careful with that.
And yeah, unknown's right. It's basically the same way the law of attraction works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically what you're doing. Yeah.
Yep, that's what the unknown said too. Yep, the law of attraction.
Yep.
It is whatever you send out, you will receive. And so I don't always succeed, but I would try to always send out good things, because I really want that in my life, and I want that to be my life experience, is to experience good things. Obviously sometimes life has other plans, but generally speaking, you don't have to make it worse by, putting out darkness and anger and hatred and jealousy and all that stuff, and build that cloud around you. And I think those kind of things do draw in the dark things that are out there. They resonate for it, they resonate to it. They become maybe more peaked when you're already spewing a bunch of dark. Well, you might be not that hard to take over, because you're already poisoned your own soul, so to speak. So I don't know, just some thoughts. You get what you give. You're right, Raspberries. Most already know this, though. Let them learn their lesson instead.
Yeah.
Well, there is that. I mean, some people are natural and don't realize they're sending things out. That's what Grateful Owl's responding to. Most already know this, though. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Rachel says there's an Archie's comic where Archie was vibrating a sense of peace, but was actually casting off negative energy, and everyone around him was becoming angry. Betty, Veronica, and Mr. Weatherby lost it. Damn Archie. All right. Justin Gooder says, I think that's also why smudging works. Directed intent. Yeah, energy follows intention. And, there are certain, I do believe that certain elements of the world do have, it's kind of like you can take the bark of a willow tree and make aspirin, there's elements in our world that do have intrinsic use, and some can be spiritual, energetic, some can be physical. The world has everything we need, The Unknown says, I believe in the law of attraction, and I've tried it, and I can tell you stories. Yeah, very cool.
Manifestation, basically.
Yep. Manifestation is a powerful thing, and we're always manifesting our reality, whether we know that or not. So I think, there's still more. Okay. But that's the last that we're going to cover today on here, because we got a little bit of time to get into some cryptids.
Cryptid Corner.
The Cryptid Corner. Sheldon, are you ready for some Cryptid Corner?
Oh, absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Cryptid Corner, featuring Sheldon Thomas with that funny face.
You saw me, God.
Yeah,
Okay.
you were on camera when you did that. You knob. Look at your feed. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
All right, there you go. You put it out there for everyone, Sheldon. Now everybody knows you're... I don't know what that face is. What is that face?
Don't worry about it.
I don't even... How did you do it? Do it again. Do it again. What the hell? You're such a talented young man. See, that was a positive thing. Huh?
I used to make a lot of faces as a kid, and they just, muscle memory, so.
Muscle memory. Why is my Sasquatch Chronicles page is all screwed up? Yeah, there's the blog. It doesn't look right, though. They look funny, but anyway. All right, folks. It's like a gremlin. What's like a gremlin? Sheldon's face? Yeah.
Yeah, I did it again. There you go.
Grandizer says, show that face again. The face. Did it finally come up? Sheldon is clearly trying to woo us all.
Sheldon Gremlin beginnings. What do you mean beginnings? This is midlife here. Gremlin midlife. What do you mean?
Yep. Yeah. You got some wear on those tires, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to the first one. This is Sasquatch Chronicles blog, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where we're going to start our journey into the cryptids. We don't have a lot of time because we ended up doing what we always do. We just talk.
I was yapping. Yes, we were yapping.
And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. What does that say? Grandizer says, I want to make the face as a profile pic for my dating.
Don't use my face as for your dating picture.
All right. Yeah, you probably should use your own, Grandizer. But you can make that face if you want. That'd be funny.
If that's what you meant, yes. Go for it.
Probably get all kinds of attention, actually. He's a looker, that Sheldon. All right. Here we go. Sasquatch Chronicles blog. This is from February 7th. I saw this man-like thing walking across a field. This encounter happened in Wisconsin, a listener writes. When I was 10 years old, I walked downstairs to use the bathroom, and it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I just happened to look out the window, and it was a full moon, and out the bay window, I saw a man-like thing walking across the field about 75 to 100 yards from that window, walking along the woods on the edge of the field. And it just was walking south towards a different woods. Well, I stopped and just watched it for about 10 to 30 seconds. It covered about 150 to 200 yards. And then, in a few seconds, I think is what they're trying to say, the moonlight just got sucked up by this thing. It was pitch black, like darker than the sky itself. And I was frozen with fear and felt like this thing could holding me there. My first reaction was to just go hide. And I went to my parents' room and they just told me I was dreaming. But I know I was awake and seen this thing walking across the field. The thing that really threw me off was for about a week straight, I had the same weird dream over and over again. I'd walk down the stairs and everything was green like a night vision. When you look through it, and the creatures would be at the door or in my house just standing there for walking around. And I had the same thought of freezing at first and couldn't move. But before I started listening to your show, it made that laugh or giggle, or like the noise you play in the intro of like gibberish, all the Sierra sounds, the talking noises. And I've never heard that before till I listened to your show. And it really just brought that fear back into me. I walk outside at night and just have a feeling of being watched all the time. Then this goes into the other thing. I'm an avid bow hunter, and it's about 10 miles from my house where I hunt. I can send pictures of the map, and it's right next to a tree farm, and I can hear stuff walking in there regularly, and it's so swampy and thick, the deer struggle to walk through, let alone a person, but it's just an odd sound that could be anything, but well. But there are multiple times I sit in the stand and feel something is watching me, but I've never seen anything. But I'd hear that gibberish, or it sounds like people talking in the distance. You know, like you can hear a conversation, but you can't understand the words. But the thing is it's really close to the point where I should hear them and understand them, but I don't. And it sounds like yelling between two people, but that's all for that. That's all for that. Then about 15 minutes south towards Kewaunee, Wisconsin, a girl I met lives on a farm and she hunts actively. And we talk about it and send each other game photos that her brother gets and sends me pictures down below of this lady or thing standing in their field. And they only got the one photo, but it made their newspaper. They tried looking for it many nights, but never found anything or anyone there. But it's like hundreds of yards from any roads, and the camera is kind of in the middle of nowhere, like nobody should find it. But I'm not quite sure of it. But thanks, Wes. I hope you understand to have interest about my experience. I have nobody to talk to about it or anything. Just thought to reach out. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a chance sighting. You got to think that was just meant to be, right? Like if you just get up and just happen to be going to get a drink of water or something, you look out the window and there it is, just walking along. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like my UFO experience. Like if I wasn't in that right place and have access to that one tool, the night vision binoculars, I never would have known it was there. But it was just, I was in the right place at the right time with the right tool. And I got to think, it was like divine providence, right? That I would have all of those factors to meet the criteria so I could observe this incredible thing that I've been looking for decades.
It's true.
You know, I just think about that. Yeah, I mean, what are the odds that it would just happen to be there on the nights, right above the driveway, hovering, and I couldn't see it with my own eyes, but I could see it through night vision.
Yeah.
What are the odds, right?
Insane. Yeah, you're right. It kind of does sound divine because you decided to get those night vision goggles when you did, so you could have them for that exact moment.
Well, I only saw it. Because I happened to be staying at my friend's house who had them, which I then went home after that trip and bought them right away, and they were really expensive. But you know, he was very wealthy. I wasn't, but thank God I bent some plastic on that one because I've seen more things since then. But yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, jeez.
Yep. There you go. Sheldon Thomas, you host the portal. It gets demonetized. Brent finds out when he comes back and logs in. Just kidding. What did Sheldon do?
He was saying it. He was asking if I'd ever hosted it while you were gone or whatever. And I said, no, the portal can't handle this type of gremlin.
Can't handle the Sheldon factor. That's too much personality for one show to
That's right.
encompass.
You saw the trouble we were having earlier. Exactly.
Yeah, I know, but I'm glad it finally straightened out. God, that was nuts. Driving me crazy for sure. But yeah, I think that's really cool. Unfortunately, that's going to be like it for the Cryptid Corner for tonight. We had to cut it short, but I'll do more tomorrow night. We'll have Tex on. I think Tex is going to be joining me. I guess I haven't talked to him to verify, but hey, Bigfoot Rob, how you doing? Bigfoot Michigan Rob's here. And by golly, I'm working on putting together a podcast of Bigfoot Michigan Rob's appearance when he was here on the portal. He actually came in and did a Wednesday with me. I guess, was that a week?
Nice.
A week ago? Week ago last Wednesday? I don't know when it was anymore. God, days are just blending together. But yeah. So Rob, your episode will probably be coming out. Yeah, it'll be coming. Let me see, where was it? I think it's next. Actually, I might air another one in between because I just got done with Paul's 2-parter, and yours is going to be a 2-parter as well. So I think I'll put in one other interview that I got, and then yours will be the following week. So it won't be this next week, but it will be the week after that I'll be airing your episode. Yeah, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, ladies and gentlemen. Check out his channel. He's over there on YouTube's and has a podcast as well. Brent, can you get Monica to host with you? Actually, Monica's schedule is kind of a problem. just for when she's available. She and I talked about it. I'd love to get her on the live show as well. But next Wednesday, I'm having Krista come on with me. Krista of Blondes and Booze will be coming on with me next Wednesday. And that should be a great time.
Nice.
So Krista of Blondes and Booze will be joining me. And I'll have to get Brandy on after that. I'd love to get Monica on if we could figure out a day that works for her when I do live shows. But her schedule's kind of busy. So, yeah, she's fun. Monica's a wonderful person. But we did, however, just connect and record another podcast episode with Monica. So that'll be coming up probably after Rob's appearance 2 weeks from now. And and then I'll probably end up making Krista's into an episode as well as Brandy's for the podcast. So all of you guys that watch the live streams, you'll kind of get a sneak peek at the podcasts for when I do have guests. I've kind of started to enjoy having guests on these live shows again, and it gives us a little variety. So
true. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, no worries, Grandizer. Yeah. I mean, I love, I've grown to love having guests. For a while it was getting to be hard. And it's also hard because of how old my computer is. If I had a newer computer, it would make it a lot easier, but at any rate, got to do what we got to do. So that's the way it works, folks. That's the way it works. So I guess that's about a show, Sheldon.
I guess so.
The night just kind of flew by. So Sheldon, Brent,
yes.
Did you do part 2 of the interview with Monica? Oh, sweet. I got to get another bag of popcorn for that. Those interviews section are where I'm hiding at. The interview section. Well, that's the podcast. So, yeah, I mean, if you look on the YouTube, has the podcast episodes playlist, and you can check those out. There's audio versions, and I do try to do video versions as well. But since Paul was already a guest on the live show, I didn't make a specific podcast episodes, videos of those, because it's already here. But I probably will have to do that for Spotify as well, because I try to make the videos available on Spotify. So anyway, Sheldon, go ahead.
Well, Rachel actually got, thank you so much for posting the Discord right in the chat. That's the link to our Discord, the great community that we have with all the amazing links that are shared every single day and all the amazing discussion in there. Also, don't forget to check out paranormalportal.net, the home base for the Paranormal Portal, where you can keep up to date on all the podcasts, interviews coming up, as well as your very own interview. And the interview me button right there in the front page. You can schedule your very own interview for your own amazing stories.
Yeah. And just so you know, guys, it looks like Rumble chat has quit on me as well. I don't know why, but it did.
Oh.
And it's been quit for a while, because the last thing I got up there was Justin Goodearth putting up Rumble with some emoji symbols.
Oh.
So, it's a Rumble sword. I see what it is. That's some old school emojis over there, brother. Good job. So I don't know what's going on there, but I do apologize. So yeah, that's going to wrap up tonight, I guess. And I'll be back tomorrow night. I think Tex is joining me. Not positive, but I think so. And then you never know, we might end up sneaking over to Rob's show after that, but it depends on how much gas I got left in the tank. But anyway, please don't go, Brent. We got to go, Grandizer. We've been at this for a couple hours and dealing with technical issues, which is always a whole bucket of fun. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with myself. It's so much fun. So anyway, I guess that's going to wrap it up for us, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll be back tomorrow night with Tex. We do these live shows every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And remember, coming up this next Wednesday, Krista of the Blondes and Booze will be joining me here on the portal. So don't miss it. Also, just so you know, guys, whenever I have guests, those of you in the chats are welcome to ask questions as well. In fact, I hope you will. So when you have questions, just try to put them in all capital. That's part of what I do. Oh, that's the minion coming down. He's trying to get here to help me close the show. It's like thunder. I was like, what the hell is that sound? Like it's the minion coming. But yeah, we'll get Chris on here, but you guys are definitely part of that conversation. So please feel free to ask, just put them all in capitals, and that will help and get that going. I thought he'd be coming, but I don't see him coming. Maybe he had to stop and do a pit stop. But let me look at the time, because if he wants, no, it's after 9. I'm sorry, he just missed it. He's just late. Minion didn't make it, but that's it for us tonight, folks. We will talk to you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, on Facebook, on X streaming, on both of those platforms, on YouTube, on Rumble, on Twitch, wherever you're watching. Just watch there tomorrow night again. I'll be here. Yeah. So join us then. I think Tex will be joining us. Yes, thank you, Rachel. That's a great example. My favorite color is 2 favorite colors, actually. Green and black. So, just purple. For the record. You're purple?
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, that's it. That's all I got. Anything else, Sheldon?
Leave a like if you liked it.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, hit the down, don't like 2 times. Just double it.
Yeah, hit it twice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for us, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night. See you next Wednesday. Well, I'm going to be on tomorrow night, Vincent. You got to come back then. Ghost, it was nice meeting you. Thanks for coming in. And all the new listeners, thank you so much for giving us a shot here on the portal. I hope you guys will get subscribed and come back, because we love you and we need you. You complete us. So,
it's true.
All right. That's it, guys. I'm going to roll the credits. Good night, Justin. Thank you. He put a link up there on YouTube or on X for, I don't know, a YouTube video. So if you guys can see that, go check it out. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm done. Out of here. Out of here. Good night. Check out the Y-Files. I like the Y-Files. Justin Godura says, check out the Y-Files. Yeah, I like the Y-Files. It does a great job. Great production value. All right. That's it. Hecklefish is hilarious. Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm done.